Davao City, officially the city of Davao, is a highly urbanized city in the Davao region, Philippines. The city has a total land area of 2,443.61 square kilometers, 943.48 square miles, making it the largest city in the Philippines in terms of land area. It is the third most populous city in the Philippines after Quezon City and Manila respectively, and the most populous city in Mindanao, in Davao region, and outside of Metro Manila, 16 according to the 2020 census. It has a population of 1,776,949 people. It is the largest city in the province of Davao del Sur, both in population and land area, wherein it is geographically situated and grouped under the province by the Philippine Statistics Authority, but the city is governed and administered independently from it. The city is divided into 3 congressional districts, which are subdivided into 11 administrative districts with a total of 182 barangays. Davao City is the regional center of Davao region and also the center of Metro Davao, the second most populous metropolitan area in the Philippines. The city serves as the main trade, commerce, and industry hub of Mindanao and the regional center of Davao region. The region of Davao is home to Mount Apa, the highest mountain in the Philippines, which is highly visible in most parts of Davao City. The city is also nicknamed the Durian Capital of the Philippines. The region's name is derived from its Bagobo origins, who are indigenous to the area. The word Davao came from the phonetic blending of 3 Bagobo subgroups names for the Davao River, a major waterway emptying into Davao Gulf near the city. In pre-colonial era area of what is now Davao City was once a lush forest inhabited by Lumatic peoples such as the Bagobos 19 and Matagzaligs 20 alongside other ethnic groups such as the Eta, Magindanayan, and the Kagan. Davao River was then called Taglic River by the Bagobos, Magindanayans, and Tausigs, who then inhabited a settlement near the mouth of the river to the sea around what is now Bolton Riverside due immediately southwest of the city plaza. In 1543, Spanish explorers led by Ruy Lopez de Villalobos sailing around Mindanao deliberately avoided the area around Davao Gulf, then called Gulf of Taglic, due to the danger posed by fleets of Moro warships operating in the area while surveying the southeastern coast of Mindanao for possible colonization. 23, and as a result, the Davao Gulf area remained virtually untouched by European explorers for the next 3 centuries. In Maguindanao era, Magindanayan Datu, under the name Databago, was rewarded the territory of the surroundings of Davao Gulf by the Sultan of Maguindanao Sultanate for joining the campaign against the Spanish in the late 1700s. From his ancestral home in Maguindanao, he moved to the area in 1800 and, having convinced Bagobos and other native groups in the area to his side, conquered the entire Davao Gulf area. Having consolidated his position, he founded the fortress of Panagyarasan in what is now the site of Bancaroan Public Market 25 in 1830, which served as his capital. From being a fortification and base of operations from which Databago could gather and rally his forces, the settlement of Panagyarasan eventually grew into a small city extending from present-day Generoso Bridge in Bancaroan to Quezon Boulevard more than a kilometer down south. 172 to 176 as Maguindanayans and Bagobos alike among other nearby tribes in the area flocked into the settlement, eventually becoming the the main trade entrepot in the Davao Gulf area. With his immense overlordship of Davao Gulf, Tobago was eventually crowned sultan by his subjects at his capital Panagyarasan in 1843, effectively making his realm virtually independent from the Sultanate of Maguindanao, becoming a sultanate with sovereignty over Davao Gulf in equal standing with the Muslim kingdoms of Maguindanao and Sulu. Spanish era. Although the Spaniards began to explore the Davao Gulf area as early as the 16th century, Spanish influence was negligible in the Davao region until 1842, when the Spanish Governor-General of the Philippines, Narciso Claveria, ordered the colonization of the Davao Gulf region, including what is now Davao City, for the Spanish crown. This came after the loss of their colonies in the Americas from the 1820s to 1830s, which gravely reduced their sources of revenue to the point that the royal government in Madrid could no longer continue to properly provide financial support to what remained of its worldwide colonies. Thus, it became more urgent for local officials in the colonies, including the Philippines, to find ways and means of expanding the revenues in running the colonies, primarily in terms of tribute extracted from the natives. It meant that for the first time, the Spanish colonial government in the Philippines was compelled to embark on a full-scale conquest of Mindanao in the hopes of increasing its coffers. Davao Gulf seemed to be a tempting target among Spanish military circles based in Manila for its thriving maritime trade taking place there. Their initial forays began with their incursion on the village of Sigaboy in 1842, from which the local Spanish officials who recently landed there immediately demanded heavy tribute on the natives, who then asked for Tobago's help in expelling the Spaniards, which he responded swiftly by sending a combined naval and land force in the area to defeat and drive out the Spanish force there. The Spanish, seeing Tobago as a mere pirate and brigand, didn't take the threat seriously for years despite his numerous victories against them, until the burning of the Spanish trading vessel San Rufu, which carried a letter of friendship from Sultan Iskandar Kudaratula Muhammad Zamal al-Azam of Maguindanao to Governor-General Claveria, and its massacre of all its crew by seaborne corsairs under orders from Tobago himself in 1846. Incensed with the incident, the Spanish secured the consent from the Sultan of Maguindanao, who finally disowned the Moros of Davao Gulf by using the incident as pretext for justification to conquer the area. Thus, the official Spanish colonization of Davao Gulf finally began in earnest in April 1848, when an expedition of 70 men and women, led by Jose Cruz de Huanguran of Vergara, Spain, landed on the estuary of the Davao River the same month, intent on conquering Panagyarasan, the capital of Tobago's domain, in the hopes of permanently ending the menace posed on Spanish vessels by Moro raiders in Davao Gulf. Being the strongest chieftain in the region, Tobago imposed heavy tribute on the Mandaya tribes nearby, therefore also making him the most loathed chieftain in the region. Cruz de Huanguran had orders from the higher authorities in Manila to colonize the Davao Gulf region, which included the Bagobo settlement on the northern riverbank. In return, he asked for the position of the governor of the conquered area and the monopoly of its commerce for 10 years. At this juncture, a Mandaya chieftain named Datu Dopan, who then ruled Samal Island, came to him seeking for an alliance against Tobago. The two chieftains were arch rivals, and Cruz de Huanguran took advantage of it, initiating an alliance between Spain and the Mandayas of Samal Island. Intent on taking the settlement for Spain, he and his men accordingly assaulted it, but the Bagobo natives fiercely resisted the attacks, which resulted in his Samal Mandaya allies to desert. Thus, a 3-month-long inconclusive battle for the possession of the settlement ensued, which was only decided when an infantry company, which sailed its way by warships from Zamboanga, came in as reinforcements, thus ensuring the takeover of the settlement and its surroundings by the Spaniards, while the defeated Bagobos fled further inland 29, while Tobago and his followers fled north to Hijo, where he would die 2 years later. After Cruz de Huanguran defeated Bago and conquered Panagyarasan, he founded the town of Nueva Vergara, the future Davao, in the mangrove swamps of what is now Bolton Riverside on June 29, 1848, in honor of his home in Spain, and became its first governor. Panagyarasan was then incorporated into the new town. Almost 2 years later, on February 29, 1850, the province of Nueva Gipuzkoa was established via royal decree, with the newly founded town as the capital, once again to honor his homeland in Spain. When he was the governor of the province, however, his plans of fostering a positive economic sway on the region backfired, which resulted in his eventual replacement under orders of the colonial government. The province of Nueva Gipuzkoa was dissolved on July 30, 1860, as it became the politico-military commandery of Davao. By the clamor of its natives, a petition was given to the Spanish government to rename Nueva Vergara into Davao, the latter being the name used by the natives since its founding. It was eventually accepted in 1867, and Nueva Vergara was given its present name Davao. The Spanish control of the town was unstable at best, as its Lumad and Moro natives routinely resisted the attempts of the Spanish authorities to forcibly resettle them and convert them into Christianity. Despite all these, such were all done with the goal of making the governance of the area easier, dividing the Christians, both settlers and native converts, and the Muslim Moras into several religion-based communities within the town.
You know.